Hi, I'm not sure if this is the non-emergency line or if this is the I experienced an illegal eviction on Monday the 12th. I'm trying to talk to someone regarding that.
What's the address you were evicted from? Prior eviction on the 12th with the sheriff's office, is that correct?
Yeah, Monday the 12th.
You want to talk to deputy?
It was an illegal eviction. There was a protection order that was uh, given to the Larimer County Sheriff's Department. I'm looking at the email chain and I followed up with Corporal Brush. So you were notified prior that the eviction shouldn't take place and it still took place. So I need to talk to someone about that.
Yeah, let me get you down to the civil department. They're the ones that kind of handle the paperwork for all that stuff. If for some reason they can't help you, they can transfer you back up here and I can have you talk to maybe a supervisor.
Yeah, I think maybe a supervisor would be better because I don't think the civil unit wasn't there for the eviction. I need a supervisor.
It was deputies from the civil unit that was there for the eviction.
Well, deputies aren't corporals, right? They're not supervisors.
I understand. So I'm just trying to figure out. You said you sent an email to the civil department. So I was going to try to have you
Uh,
talk to them.
to Corporal Brush. Corporal Brush is a supervisor, right?
He is, but he's not in civil. So
That's
what's your phone number?
720-361-5422. And he was the, say that again?
And your name?
Anura, Anura, and last name is Mathis, Mathis. So he was on the email chain with the service on there. So that's why I reached out to him. But they contacted Richard Heyer to say the protection order is in place. And then they also proceeded with the eviction, which was illegal.
Okay. I'll have you talk to a supervisor and go from there, okay?
Okay, thanks. Hi, I think we got disconnected. I was just holding for the supervisor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hung up on you because I told you I was going to have to call you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I maybe didn't hear that part. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if Sergeant Reardon's on. He was on earlier, but I'm not seeing him right now. He's in charge of the civil department, so he'd be the most appropriate supervisor.
Sure. Yeah.
He's not currently on, but I'm going to see if I can get a hold of him and see if he's still on duty, okay?
Okay, sure. So just hold on or
No, I'm going to hang up with you because I have to get a hold of him. And
I see. Okay.
They will call you and make help from a block or private number, okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello?
Hi, is this Anura? I see that up here.
Yes. Yes. Anura Mathis?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
Sergeant Jerry with the Larimer County Sheriff's Office.
Hi.
You wanted to speak with a supervisor?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you say, are you the sergeant or you said or a corporal?
I am one of the sergeants, one of the patrol sergeants.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I did want to talk to you. I experienced an illegal eviction on Monday, January 12th. Your department has the protection order against Richard Heyer, which was in place before this took place. It was approved on January the 6th. So I wanted to get some questions answered, and I'm going to get my things to move back in, and I just wanted to kind of communicate what's the next steps as well.
Okay, so tell me the relationship between you and this other person. Were you living together?
I don't know this man very well at all. He's my landlord. The last time I saw him in person was July. There's a protection order against him, which stops all rent payments, stops the eviction, and keeps him and anybody that he could send away from the property. It's in the protection order. So I'm trying to understand why that wasn't honored.
served,
Landlord.
he served, well, I'm assuming that he went through the court process to have you evicted.
He did, and regardless of that, a protection order stops all eviction processes. That trumps anything because it's safety. So if you don't know that, then the court can kind of educate the department on that, but it's in the protection order.
You just keep in mind that I haven't looked at any protection
Sure.
orders.
It's just the standard.
I'm coming into this with completely.
No, I understand. It's a generalized law. It's a law that applies to everybody in every state. So it's not just the court made the exception to stop the eviction process, it's the law.
Let me take
Sure. It's kind of long. I think my portion of it is 4 pages, but I think it's 12 pages in total.
You spell your last name M-A-T-E-K-S?
Yes.
And your first name is A-N-U-R-A?
Correct, yes.
And what's your date of birth?
It's 5/28/86.
Alright, what we got here? Your message. Expired.
I'm sorry, what is expired?
Oh, so I'm looking at, looks like you were the protected party in a protection order with a Tanner Bright.
Oh, yeah. These are different people. Yeah, it's for Richard Heyer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was his last name?
It's Hyre.
This is you as a protected party, and then Christina Darling is the restrained, and then you as a protected party.
I'm sorry.
Anderson.
For Richard Heyer. This was approved. This was approved on January the 6th.
I'm just wading through some of the other.
Hi there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, all of a sudden the call just dropped.
I think it's because of the wind.
Okay. All right. What am I missing here? I'm just trying to find it.
I also followed up with Corporal Brush. He has the original copy. I got the certificate of service from him. They contacted him on the phone, Richard Heyer, on January the 7th. So it was communicated to him. He got the paperwork, and we have a permanent protection order hearing coming up in just a couple of days. So no eviction process can happen while that is taking place.
Okay. Hey, can I give you a call back? Let me see if I can find all of this information that you're talking about. I don't want to keep you on the phone while I'm.
Sure. What's your email?
Let's say that again.
What's your email address?
Sure, it's Cherry, CHERRY, M as in Matt, S as in Sam, at Larimer.org.
Okay. So I'll include you on this email chain with Corporal Brush, so that you have when you guys received it and when you contacted Richard Heyer. I'm just going to kind of make the statement. I'm going to get my things and I'm moving back in. If Richard Heyer is there, he potentially can be arrested. He's violated this protection order 3 times already. So I can enforce that for him to be arrested. I want to ensure that he's not on my property and that nobody else that he's sending is on the property, because that's a violation of the protection order.
So I just want to confirm that you were evicted from the property on which date?
The 12th.
The 12th? Okay. And are you going through the courts right now to get back into the property?
No, I don't need to. What I'm saying is the the protection order stops any eviction process. If you need to go look that up, that's totally fine. But it's the law to stop any eviction processes if there's a protection order in place.
Right. Well, that doesn't necessarily concern the sheriff's office because we don't sign eviction orders. That is
Sure, but I had officers let themselves into my home and pulled weapons on me and forced me out of my home, which was very illegal.
And if that was based upon an eviction, then that would have been by a court order that allows us to do that.
Yeah, but the court order by a different judge was signed off before that. So no eviction process can happen until there's no protection order, which now that he's violated it, it will be permanent.
Okay. Well, that's something you're going to have to go to the courts. We just go off of what the courts order us to do.
No. I understand. And I talked to the officers and I said, they're kind of involving you in something that shouldn't be happening, but they, wanted to do their job correctly. But we talked about it. I talked to, I think it was Deputy Nathan. I can't remember his last name, the head person. And we discussed that there is a protection order. And he said, if that's the case, then this shouldn't be happening. He was aware then. So there's a lot of miscommunication around this. What I'm concerned of is that I've been being followed by officers, and I want to make sure no one's going to bother me going home, moving my things back in. My landlord's not there. His dad's, I want to make sure that everybody understands there's no eviction. There's no legal eviction that can take place.
What do you mean that you're being followed by officers?
Meaning I'm staying in a room and I had an officer around town. Longmont Police Department, I was walking into Walmart and then I had 2 officers walking to the front as well. I pressed record and then they turned around and walked out.
Okay. So you're suggesting that there are numerous law enforcement agencies that are following you around or monitoring you?
Correct, and that's also in the protection order. That is also illegal. It's illegal in general, but that is part of the testimony I gave, which granted me this protection order.
The only reason why any law enforcement agency would be, I don't even want to use the word follow you. If a law enforcement officer had a reason to contact you, then they would have contacted you. We don't just get directions to quote unquote monitor people.
You do if you feel that someone might be violent or mentally ill or something like that. But, if somebody's telling lies about me, I'm sorry. If someone's telling lies about me, which there's a false police report made on December the 15th, I've discussed that with Corporal Brush several times. If people are calling the police and asking the police to monitor me, then they would do that, right?
No. We don't. If somebody calls me and says, hey, I need you to go monitor this person.
No, they wouldn't say it like that.
Well, hey, keep an eye on this person. However you want to phrase it, I'm going to say, okay, are you alleging they committed a crime that I need to investigate? And if I'm investigating a crime, I'm going to go and contact you and say, hey, I'm investigating this crime. I don't just, law enforcement doesn't just, follow people around for no reason if they haven't committed a crime.
I think they do. They've done it several times, and I'm posting this online so people are made aware of this. I have videos and pictures and lots of evidence. This is going to go to court. But additionally, not every police officer is in the force for a good reason. Some of the police officers are a part of the general population, which the general population also suffers from psychopathy and sociopathy and other mental illnesses. So not every police officer has good intentions. I've been followed around. I've been monitored since I've been out of my home. I want to ensure that people are not going to be stalking me.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that nobody with the Larimer County Sheriff's Office is following you around. If you happen to be driving around in a public place and you happen to see, one of our cars driving around, it's probably because we're driving around, responding to other calls or looking for traffic violations in general, not specific to you. That we have far better things to do than to just follow people.
I would imagine so. I don't know what these officers are doing, but I left my room to go to the grocery store at Walmart, and 2 officers were there waiting for me. So it's not everybody's innocent in this situation. I didn't make any other stops. There were just officers waiting for me at the only store that I went to that day, only stop I made. I know I'm being monitored. I know that not every police officer has has good intentions and wants to keep me safe. Some want to intimidate me.
Okay, I don't understand the why of that.
Probably because I'm a black woman. That's why.
Okay, well, if you have any concerns about specific officers or deputies, I would highly encourage you to contact that specific agency to say, I saw this deputy or that officer doing this, and that way we can look into those situations. But I would tell you with 99% certainty, again, leaving that 1% out there, 1% chance that, you have one rogue deputy or officer out there that's, that has ill intent or they're not doing what their department wants them to be doing. But 99% of the time, our deputies and officers are out, just their job and not just, we just simply don't have the time to just follow innocent citizens around for no apparent reason.
Sure. I think that most officers are good officers. Most officers are doing their job. But 1%, let's look at that number. 1% of the whole total population is a pretty significant number, yeah? I mean, if we're looking at 8 billion people, 1% of that is millions of people, right? So it's not a small percentage if we're saying 1% of officers. It's not one officer. It's multiple. And multiple have been observing me, monitoring me, illegally surveillancing me, including your deputy Guerrero. When I contacted him on, I believe this was December 6th, I got upset because he was being very condescending. I felt unsafe, and he essentially refused to help me. So I ended the call and called back to the sheriff's department to ask for a different officer, and she refused to give me someone else. They just let Deputy Guerrero contact me again. He's been very disrespectful. He came out on December 17th regarding these protection order issues and didn't even investigate anything. Deputy Guerrero has been observing me and not helping keeping me safe. That's one of your officers, right?
Okay. Did you file a complaint?
I didn't file a complaint. I didn't realize I could. How do I file a complaint?
Yeah, absolutely. So, were you ever in contact with one of our deputies that may have given you a business card?
I think I have maybe 10 business cards from your deputies.
Okay. So on the back of the business card, I'm going to pull it out just so I can make sure. So, there is a QR code, and then it also says to comment on a sheriff's office employee or get information on how to file a complaint, please call this number, visit our website, or you can scan the QR code.
Okay.
Again, if you have any concerns about any of our deputies or how our deputies are conducting business, then we need to know about those things. So feel free to use that on the back of the card. You can do it online, or you can call.
Okay. I did contact your dispatch and told her directly that I was having issues with Deputy Guerrero, and she redirected me back to him. I have talked to Corporal Brush about him. Corporal Brush came to my home twice. So the second time was to check why my bedroom door wouldn't lock after I've been making these reports. And I talked to him about Deputy Guerrero then. People have been made aware. So I didn't realize there was a complaint process, but I will get that started.
All right. Can I give you a call back? I want to see if I can find, let's see.
I just sent the protection order to you, so you have a copy.
Perfect. And was it served?
Correct. They notified him of this and made arrangements. He's supposedly not in town or something. The court also knows that you made contact with him, and that was the completion of service. So our court hearing is on January 21st for the permanent protection order.
I'm doing a refresh page. I haven't seen it come through yet. I just checked my spam folder.
It is coming from a proton.me.
There it is.
I also spoke with one of your deputies on December 20th, asking for someone to be dispatched to come out, and two of your deputies refused to help me.
I'm sorry, when was that?
December the 20th, I think it was that Saturday. I spoke with...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Corporal Brush came out on December 5th to investigate, and all I was asking was for a deputy to make sure my landlord wasn't on property turning off my breaker box, and they wouldn't come out. So two of your deputies refused to help me when I was in danger.
Did you have a reason to believe that he was on the property?
Yeah, that's why I was calling. I called multiple times.
Let me give you a call back. I'll review this so I can keep you on the phone, and I'll call you right back. Is that okay?
That's okay. I'm going to be heading home in about half an hour, so I'll hang out until then.
I don't think it's going to take anywhere near close to 30 minutes. So,
okay, all good.
I'll call you back.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant. Bye-bye.
Look through the packet that you submitted to the court. I was able to get onto the court's website as well, and saw that you submitted the paperwork, but what it does show and what I did confirm through our civil unit is that Mr. Heyer was never actually served with any of the paperwork.
He was.
So actually, no, they said that apparently he's a truck driver and he's out of state. So they were, my civil unit said that he could not be contacted to be served. So apparently he hasn't been served with the protection order yet.
Yeah, so the affidavit said that you contacted him over the phone. So he's been notified that there's a protection order in place. They said they were going to make arrangements for the paperwork. You could email it to him. I'm not sure why you didn't do that, but he's been made aware. And so now the court has been made aware as well that you made contact with him, which is the completion of service. It's just the attempt. He doesn't have to receive the paperwork right when he doesn't have to receive the paperwork beforehand.
All right, so where you need to go with this is all of this is civil. It's we can't charge him with anything. We can't do anything with him because he hasn't been served with the paperwork. As far as the eviction goes, it seems like it was a lawful eviction. If you want to contest that, you're going to have to go to the court.
I have contested it, Sergeant. I'm going to make this very clear. What your deputies did was very illegal. There were several officers, 5, that entered my home and drew weapons on me. They were made aware that there was a protection order before my landlord. So your deputies were made aware that this is a legal issue, that he cannot come around me. He can't send anybody to me. He can't have his dad come over. His dad was there. It's in the protection order.
Well, the protection order isn't valid until he's been served.
So why hasn't your deputies gotten the paperwork to him when they said in writing that they were making arrangements to do that?
I don't know. I don't work for
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with me. The court is made aware that the service attempts have been completed. They have the paperwork. The permanent protection order is going to happen regardless. Richard Heyer has been made aware of not only that there's a protection order, but there's a permanent protection order hearing against him. If he doesn't want to show up, if you don't want to get him the paperwork, it doesn't mean it's not valid. I've already told the court that you've made contact with him, which completes the service.
The court record shows that he was not served as of the 12th. That was when you were evicted, correct?
Yeah, so the court was made aware after the fact, but your department was made aware before the eviction took place. Therefore, your deputies should have challenged that. Hey, the protection order is in place that will stop any eviction process. Did you look into the legal stature about that?
All right, Ms. Mathis, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, all I'm telling you is that there's...
Did you look into the legal statute about...
Are you going to continue to interrupt me?
No, I'm asking you a question, Sergeant. Please answer my question.
I did not look at all of the laws that's contained or that pertain to all of the civil laws regarding evictions and all of those things. What I'm telling you is that there's nothing that I can do for you today because the deputies were acting, it appears, that they were acting on a lawful eviction, which is signed by a judge. And if you have any complaint about that, as I said, you can use one of those methods that I gave you to file a formal complaint, and then that formal complaint will go to the supervisor or supervisors of those deputies who were acting on the lawful.
Sure. So I will do that. I will follow through with the complaint process, but I also will be subpoenaing the records, and your deputies will have to testify. It's not just closed. It's not open and closed. You were made aware of the protection order. You contacted my landlord, Richard Heyer, to make him aware. That's in writing and signed off by you. And now that's with the court. Maybe that didn't happen before the 12th, but you were made aware. So you weren't supposed to act on that. That was signed by a judge as well. And you're interrupting me while I'm talking, Sergeant.
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
Yes. So you had paperwork signed by a judge on January 7th before the 12th. So you were made aware that the eviction process should have stopped. You didn't follow through with getting him paperwork. I don't know why you didn't do that, but you put in writing that you were going to. Do you have an answer for that?
I was just waiting for you to finish your statement. So keep in mind.
I'm sorry, that was a question.
Keep in mind that none of these people, none of these deputies in our civil unit work for me. We are in separate units, and I don't investigate people from other units. So if you have a concern regarding how they handled any of the processes from the court, I would suggest that you submit a complaint in writing or call the comment line, which will go to our professional standards unit, and then they can put you in contact with the supervisor that oversees that unit.
Okay.
I'm a patrol sergeant that is not affiliated, well, not affiliated, but
I know what you mean.
Directly connected with the deputies that work in the civil unit.
I don't know why they put you in touch with me. I did tell the dispatch exactly why I called.
Because you wanted to speak with the supervisor, and the supervisor that is in the civil unit is not currently in service, so he couldn't call you.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
And he's not on duty right now.
Oh, okay. Does he have anybody to substitute that work? Can anybody help him?
Well, if he's off, then the civil unit is different than patrol. If patrol is on duty and I have to take off for whatever reason, there's another supervisor that steps into my place. But the civil unit is not like that. If the direct supervisor is off duty, then sometimes they don't have a supervisor.
Okay. So, in somebody like me, or me specifically in this situation, I need to speak with the supervisor that's handling any sort of eviction process. So, what is going to happen, Sergeant, if I go home right now?
Temporary. If you were evicted and you go on the property, you could be subject to arrest, as I understand it.
Okay, so they're going to arrest me if I go home, even though there's a protection order and you have a copy of it?
If you were legally evicted.
I wasn't.
Evicted and you go back to the property and they said you can't go back to the property, then you could be subject to arrest.
So they're going to enter my home and arrest me?
I don't know about entering your home, because I don't see that there would be any reason to do that. But you can be subject to criminal charges, which means that they could apply for a warrant for your arrest or something along those lines.
I mean, I don't think that would be very wise, right?
It depends. I'm not going to get into the if you do this, then we're going to do that type of game.
Well, I'm not asking in theory. I'm asking specifically. I told you I was going to head home in 30 minutes. So are there going to be officers that are going to follow me? Or people going to enter my home illegally? Or somebody going to try to arrest me? I need to know what's going to happen.
As I said, you could be subject to arrest if you go back and if they advise you that you could not go back to the residence.
Yes, but the deputy who was leading the eviction said, if you have a protection order, then this shouldn't take place. So what do you have to say about that?
I don't have anything to say about that. If I'm not, yeah. If you go back to the residence and you're not supposed to, I haven't looked at all of the eviction papers. I haven't spoken to anybody on the civil unit. If somebody calls and says that you're trespassing on the property because you were legally evicted, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll look at the situation. I don't like to ever say, hey, we're going to send a SWAT team over your house. That would be dumb.
Well, but that's what happened.
Or we're going to do this or we're going to do that. I'm just telling that, we'll investigate it. You could be subject to arrest, criminal charges, whatever that looks like. So I would highly encourage you to go to the courts and try to get some additional clarification from them, maybe something in writing from the courts before you return home that says, I'm lawfully allowed to do this.
Well,
despite what the eviction says, as far as not being able to return home or not?
Sure. So I have contacted the courts multiple times. I filed a motion to overturn the judgment. I told that to your deputy when he was at my home on the 12th. He allowed me to call Judge Ecton and they wouldn't answer. They called me 2 days after. I also filed a judicial review to have that judge investigated. I also filed 2 reports for the attorneys that are on the plaintiff's case. I have filed a district suit, which includes multiple entities, and then I'll have to include Larimer County Sheriff's Department. I've taken all the steps that I think I should take. I'm not sure what else to do to make sure that officers don't illegally enter my home and try to arrest me. They used a key to get in.
I would suggest that you wait until you get a final ruling, a court order from a judge before you return home.
The court order is the protection order. I do have that. That's signed off by a judge.
The eviction, as I understand it, without looking at all the eviction papers that are not in front of me, if you were legally evicted, if a judge says you can't be there, you need to leave, and I'm not seeing anything that says otherwise. I'm just telling you that you could be subject to charge. I'm not saying you will be. I'm just saying you could be subject to criminal charges.
I would hope that they wouldn't do that, since go ahead.
I would get a further ruling, go to the court and say, hey, look, this is what I applied for, and this is what this judge says, so that you can clear up any potential contradiction between 2 judges.
Yes.
Before you return, because if a judge says you can't do this, then you can't do that.
Okay, so in general, yes, but specifically, even if judges make a ruling that are illegal, it doesn't hold any legal stature. What is trumping the eviction is the protection order, and you got that in advance. A judge signed off on that. You just got another copy of that. You contacted the person that's being restrained and said, there's a protection order against you. Let's make arrangements to get this paperwork to you. That's all in writing. So the protection order eliminates any sort of eviction. And if you don't know that answer, it would be advice for you to look it up, because we're not arguing about the law if you don't know the law.
Right. I don't know that I have anything else to discuss with you. I gave you general advice.
Correct.
I would encourage you to go to the court.
I have.
You can. I'm not saying that you can't. And as I said, I would suggest that you get a formal court ruling from the judge that signed the eviction, to at least consider the protection order, and let them make that determination. Because if not, as I mentioned, if somebody calls and says that you're trespassing because you were lawfully evicted, then I want to keep you out of trouble.
Well, I'm not in trouble. That's the point. The point is that the eviction shouldn't take place. If your sheriff's department has record of my protection order, they're made aware well in advance that the eviction shouldn't have taken place. If they don't know the law, if you don't know the law regarding that, that's something that you should educate yourself on. But you were made aware of the protection order that was signed by a judge. That is the order that I have. I will have another judge for the district case, and I will have another judge for any sort of eviction in the future. But for this time period, it is illegal for any officer to come to my home, to arrest me, for anybody to call this trespassing. It's illegal for my landlord that's well aware of the protection order to come near me, to send anybody towards me, to stalk me, to harass me, or anything that's in the protection order. So I'm making that clear to you. I'm using my legal right. Even if a judge hasn't signed an additional letter to say I can come back, they were not supposed to complete the eviction at all. That was illegal.
Well, then you may want to consider speaking with an attorney.
Yes.
Getting further legal.
I have, yes, correct.
and especially if this turns the wrong way for you, and then you end up being criminally charged, you'll have to take all of this information that you just relayed to use in your criminal defense. As I said, I strongly encourage you to speak to the court.
Of course I will. And Sergeant,
we're just going to go round and round. So I don't
no, we're not going in circles. Sergeant, how do I enforce the protection order? Since we're all aware that it's in place, there's been violations. How do I enforce that?
You don't, because he hasn't been served with it yet.
He has. He's been made aware of it, and the court's aware of that. So how do I enforce the violations?
Ma'am, my civil unit says he has not been served.
Okay, because they're not willing to serve him. Okay, I've gotten all the information I need.
He's out of state.
They can email him. They've been talking to him.
Then I would recommend that you call my civil unit and you can argue that.
I don't need to argue. I don't need to do anything. I know my legal rights, but I'm going to get all of the recordings and everything. I'm going to get that uploaded so the court can review what the sheriff's department is doing. And I will make sure to subpoena any recordings that you have, the police reports that I have against Richard Heyer. You have a history of him harassing and stalking me, and then I got a protection order, and you're pretending you don't know about it. But okay, I have the record. Thank you for your time. I'm going to move forward. You're made aware of what my next actions are. If any officers try to follow me or arrest me, this will be on the news.
All right, you have a blessed day.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.